Hey, this is Power Card, aka Project Pat, and you're listening to the Baltimore Beatdown Podcast, the best Ravens podcast on the planet.
It's pretty incredible. In fact, it's la-marvelous.
Thank you, guys.
All right, welcome on back to another edition of the Baltimore Beatdown Podcast. It is Thursday, October 1st, 2020. My name is Jake Luke, and I'm joined by a bespectacled Spencer Nathaniel Schultz.
Got the old blue light lenses going. I am ready to rock and roll.
Absolutely. How you doing, bud? It's been an interesting week for you. You've been doing a lot of work, doing some good work up there with Sports Info Solutions. Had an interesting Monday night after what was, not the most fun Ravens game we've experienced up to this point in 2020. How's it going?
I think it was a pretty fun game. I think that everybody's gotten a little sour on losing because I think they're not used to it and acting like a little bit of the old spoiled babies. But it was a fun game. The Ravens came back. It was, a one-score game in the fourth quarter after looking pretty bleak at halftime, especially with Mahomes missing a touchdown throw where Mecole Hardman had one step on Marlon Humphrey, and then Harrison Butker, I believe, missed a field goal right before halftime. Is that when he missed?
Yeah, it would have been 30 to, I think, 3.
30 to 10.
30 to 10. Yeah, 30 to 10. Missed the field goal.
27-10 sounds a lot better.
Yeah, no, and he absolutely sucks. So that's good. We can take that out of that game.
Silver linings playbook, baby. That's what we're all about this week. But yeah, so then the Ravens end up holding the Chiefs scoreless throughout the third quarter and driving down the field, scoring a touchdown to Mr. Boyle. And then it was 27-20, and the Ravens, had a chance in that game. So I think that the week 3 overreactions are in full swing. I think that goes around the entire NFL, not just in the fan base or with the Ravens. It's, Josh Allen's MVP and the Texans are horrible, and all these rash things based on the not even the first month of the season yet. So I think this was a good game for the Ravens overall. That it showed weakness, it showed cracks, it showed faults, and we saw that happen last year. And the Ravens showed an outstanding ability, both front office as well as from their coaching staff, to make adjustments throughout the year. And in the second half, they were a completely and utterly dominant team. Difficult time with the Chiefs in week 3 of last year, the Browns week 4. Therefore, they were able to adjust. And I think that this coaching staff does that really well over time in season. Going back to Lamar Jackson's rookie year is one of the prime examples throughout John Harbaugh's tenure, making the switch, going with the rookie, going 6-1, postseason, winning the division. So I think this team can definitely, I'm not even going to say turn it around, but just get way, way better because of a game like this.
Yeah, and if it's going to happen, you want it to happen in week 3. And kind of the point I've been sort of circling to, I've had a lot of different takes on this game. It's been evolving over, the time since it's elapsed. And you kind of want them to bring their C- game to a game like that, learn what they have to learn. They certainly did not bring their A game. It would have been a lot more disappointing if they brought their A game and still lost, in my humble opinion. But it's a good learning experience. Nothing more than that. We said before the game even took place that the result really doesn't matter all that much. So that's kind of where I'm at this point.
Right. I did put on, drank the purple Kool-Aid, put on the purple glasses, whatever you want to call it, and predicted the win. I was rather disappointed by the defense, which they had energy, but it was this fringe energy. It was this misplaced energy, kind of like a fifth grader who hasn't quite their, ADHD medication yet and can sometimes do some really cool things, but I'm just out of sorts running around. And we saw blown coverages, saw a really panicky pass rush where they were pushing the issue of trying to seemingly get Mahomes out of the pocket, which doesn't seem like an ideal strategy overall. Trying to attack the A gaps really violently, especially late in the game, lining Judon and 2 D tackles in the A gaps and between the B gaps essentially, and trying to get him out of the pocket. But why do you want Mahomes out of the pocket? That's where he hurts you the most. It feels like, especially the Ravens for the past couple matchups. So I think that, they had the jitters. They dropped the football, all things, pardon me, got it out of the way. And at this point, it's, on to a couple teams that are struggling. And the Ravens are going to go back to the drawing board and be to really work on their identity, work on getting the front seven meshed and integrated the way that they need to. And they're not going to seem like the Chiefs for quite some time. I believe Steelers are the next formidable opponent. It would seem like we got DC football team, Eagles, Steelers, or is it Bengals, then Steelers, something like that.
Sure. That's it. Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, something along those lines. So they'll be able to take a lot from this game. You hear Jimmy Smith talking about it. You hear all these other veterans. You hear David Culley giving a speech on the sideline. And it felt like they didn't utilize offensively. They didn't utilize all 5 skill positions on the field. There was a lot of Hollywood. There was a lot of Andrews. And there weren't a lot of primary reads. There weren't a lot of play designs to target Miles Boykin, who had a lot of single coverage, a lot of ISO single coverage. There wasn't a lot of stuff to Duvernay. The running backs obviously had, 15 total carries in the game. So it was, the Lamar, Hollywood, and Andrews show. And it feels like when they play competent defenses that are, playoff teams, when you try to run the 3-man show, the triangle offense, it doesn't work like that. And you see the Chiefs the ball around to every single possible receiver, to Watkins, to Hardman, to Hill, to Kelsey, all these different weapons. And the Ravens kind of have those weapons as well.
No, sorry to interrupt, but it also felt like just a lot of all right, just line up and just beat this guy, just beat him one-on-one. And it wasn't working. And in contrast to the other quarterback and the other offense who, hey, I'm going to drop back. I'm going to do a head fake here. I'm going to do a pump fake here. There's a guy coming in motion. There's all this shit going on. And then there's just a wide open tight end over the middle, or there's a shovel pass to a fullback for a touchdown. It felt like a serious difference in the offensive ingenuity that they at least brought into this game.
Yeah, the Chiefs is open, manufactured touches, had a lot of misdirection, a lot of head fakes, a lot of motion to get your eyes to tell lies, motion going to the right so that Holmes can look to his right and then throw the ball left, and being able to use that panicky, frantic Ravens energy against them. The Chiefs performed perfect football jiu-jitsu. The Ravens came in trying to rock them and show what it was and hit and all that stuff. And the Chiefs are just calm, cool, collected. I think a good example of that was when Ty Bowser, they coverage was decently tight downfield. Ty Bowser beats every one-on-one, the left tackle on the left side, and comes in hot as a pistol. And then Mahomes just kind of sees him out of his peripheral vision and just gives one step to his right and then ducks back under to his left and is able to, throw the ball away there and avoid the sack. So I think that Lamar was also frantic. I think the entire team has this monstrous chip on their shoulder to win against the Chiefs, to win in playoff games. They press really hard to try to be a physically dominant team, but give up on being the disciplined team by doing so. And I think that was a big
weren't patient like we were talking about in the previous recording.
Right.
Yeah, just a lot of panic. But I guess we'll talk about that a little bit moving forward after our guest. But before we get to that, we did want to touch on the Steelers-Titans situation.
Yeah, so it appears that they'll be playing Monday or Tuesday. Would that be the first ever Tuesday NFL game?
No, apparently. So there was a clip going on Twitter of, I think Joe Webb was playing for the Eagles, and there was a blizzard or something that postponed a Monday game to a Tuesday before.
Interesting. Well, in that case, we will see the weirdest little skill possible, and I think that could have an ancillary benefit for the Ravens, a Steelers team that might be playing on mega short rest following a potential Tuesday game that kind of throws them out of sorts. And of course, that's going to make their testing and things like that really rigorous. So hopefully everyone's safe and that situation is isolated and doesn't end up spreading beyond the, I believe, 3 Titans of the sort that had
another additional one today, I think.
So 4. And that feels like it could trickle into 8 in 2 days. That's the way that virus seems to work, unfortunately.
Yeah, it seems like they are kind of doing what they need to do, though, at this point. And they have done a good job of containing it thus far. So I'm going to go ahead and place my faith in them that I think it's going to be generally all right, though it is somewhat concerning to see an outbreak even as small as it is.
It is definitely concerning. You wish for their well-being. You hope that this is contained, isolated, and with the rigorous testing protocols, feels like it'll be all right. It definitely is shake up the week for those teams. Feels like that game could be a definite wild card kind of game after not really being able to practice field. So might be kind of strength there and then be an interesting matchup. Is that game set to take place in Pittsburgh?
I'm not totally sure. I didn't look into it, but there was other stuff going around about how maybe they were going to postpone it to another bye week and then potentially have the Ravens move their bye week to accommodate. So something to keep an eye on.
Definitely. There's also some sort of rumor mill spinning right now that there could possibly be a Ravens extension in the next 24 hours.
Yeah, so that was going around. I think Rita Hubbard is her name, and at the NFL Chick. She was tweeting about how there could be a big time extension coming. So a lot of speculation that it could be maybe Marlon Humphrey, could maybe be Ronnie Stanley. Those are the two big names being thrown out right now, but who knows?
Sure, it could be Bowser maybe. That would make sense. And I think it would most likely be one of those three guys. I think that if there is someone to get extended, maybe it doesn't end up happening today, tomorrow, whatever. But if there's someone to be extended in the near future, Marlon Humphrey makes a lot of sense because Trey White already signed and Jalen Ramsey already signed their extensions. So the market feels like it's more set, whereas Ronnie Stanley has just Tunsil, and Tunsil was a unique situation with all the leverage that him and his agent had. So it feels like at this point, the Ravens really might want to save that franchise tag and put that in their back pocket for Stanley and kind of let this whole COVID situation pan out. Hopefully, we hope and we pray, as well as see if there's another couple tackle signings that maybe are a little less ludicrous. But it's just kind of difficult because Ronnie Stanley has pretty much slightly outperformed Laramie Tunsil, maybe a little bit. They're both very high caliber left tackles, but Stanley's been on a more successful team and gotten more accolades and probably feels like he might deserve a little bit more money than Tunsil. So quite difficult.
Who would your preference be at this point?
Ronnie Stanley. The reason is that if they extend Ronnie Stanley this season, it would free up $9 million. I think that if you give him Tunsil's money and have that cap hit spread out late, that by the time that his bonus money and his big cap hits happen in maybe 2022, 2023, the new TV deals will be signed to them, the cap will rise, and it won't be as big of a deal. I'd rather get that sooner rather than later. He does get banged up a little bit, but I think that getting him out of the way creates cap room for this and would allow to really make a splash if they find the right player at the right price.
Yeah, definitely. And like the whole thing has been about extending Stanley in order to free up that cap space. So I think that would probably be the logical move and my prediction at this point.
Right. And Insider commenting in live stream, the game Monday made my wife divorce me. Apparently hammering the money line with our Roth IRA was a quote unquote stupid decision. Do you guys know any good divorce lawyers in Baltimore County? I think he doesn't specialize in divorce law. He's more of a bird law kind of guy, but that would be MD Law So Hard. You can find him on Twitter at MD Law So Easy too. He can accommodate you and all of your legal service needs. That is an unpaid, friendly advertisement.
Yeah, he's a big personal injury guy from what I understand. So I don't know, like a Roth IRA, I don't know how you're breaking that open either to bet on this game. I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to do that.
He busted it wide open. I'm going to tell him bring it back.
Interesting. But yeah, I mean, anything else? We have our guest coming up in a few minutes here. What else did you want to hit on, if anything?
Don't overreact. Don't overreact to the Ravens losing a game. Recall back to the fact that they went 2-2 last year with a very similar squad and ended up 14-2. And while I don't think the Ravens will go 14-2 quite this year, 11-5, 10-6, 12-4 feel in the cards, and those are playoff records, especially with a 7 seed now, expanding the playoffs for the NFL. And the Ravens are, you should feel excited that the Ravens got this one out of the way. They needed it. It can be a humbling experience that ends up with them, like I said, a lot of faults and cracks exposed. Wink's defense very much based on the field communication by players, and they're relatively unfamiliar with each other. Deshaun Elliott making his start, Calais Campbell, a new Raven, Patrick Queen, Malik Harrison, Derek Wolfe, a lot of these guys weren't in Baltimore. Jimmy Smith doing some different things that he hasn't done before. So I believe that this Ravens team has a lot to do. I think they're kind of excited. I think that they're a little bit pissed off. And when you watch Monday Night Football preview and it's 7 minutes before the game, 5 minutes before the game, you see the whole damn Monday Night Football line go pick by pick. Oh, the Ravens are going to win. 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 As a Baltimore Ravens fan at this point, you have to be pretty wary of that kind of situation. That is what they call bad juju. And it didn't work out so well.
Yeah, it certainly didn't. Also, National Podcast Day. Did want to hit on that before we got going here.
National Podcast Day. Go give us those 5-star reviews and just say National Podcast Day. We love you guys. Hope you love us too. All of our listeners and everyone who follows all along, all throughout, and gives us mailbag questions, gives us awesome stuff to talk about, awesome talking points, and we've enjoyed this entire process with you guys.
And we are happy on National Podcast Day to, on our podcast, welcome a great guest. It is Chick Hernandez. He's formerly of NBC Sports Washington, here to preview a little Ravens at Washington football team.
Hey, Mark. Can't hear anything.
Can't hear us?
Why can't I hear you?
Okay.
Mute? No. Interesting. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Yes.
You hear us?
Okay, but I can't hear you.
Well, that's not good.
Interesting. Let's see. I should be able to hear you.
If you check the settings of your audio, I guess you can't hear me, so I don't know why I'm talking to. I'm giving it.
All right, what if I take...
Anyone watching on the stream, we'll cut this out for the pod.
No, we'll keep it.
Yeah, well, it's pretty on brand, to be fair. Yeah. I'll DM him real quick.
Tell him to mess with his audio settings and change his external source. Bright Guy Samurai, it microphone button, silly.
Input and output.
If he hits cam mic, then he hits audio. Be able to hit mic or speaker, and I'm fairly certain it's probably that.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. Got all sorts of tech experts chiming into the comments here.
Love to see it. Love to see it.
Check. Why could we hear him then and him not hear us? That's weird.
Because his speakers are probably not external speakers, are probably the default or something, or not the correct ones, and he's trying to use his headphones, so it must be off, and then maybe his sound is off or something.
Gotcha.
Heard a little something.
You heard something?
Heard a beep.
Interesting. You got us?
Nothing, something, anything?
Or are we echoing through his headphones?
I just heard one, but I haven't heard one since.
Yeah, I've definitely heard a few echoes here. I'll remove him real quick.
And then bring it back. That's a good idea.
Yeah. Anything? Nothing.
Waiting.
You got us? Still nothing?
Wonder if he's using an iPad or something, because when I tried to use my iPad, it wouldn't allow me.
Gotcha.
I couldn't remember or maybe that was my phone, actually. I tried to see if I could do it on my phone once.
I'm just going to cut the recorder right now anyway. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is weird. Cam mic for me, guess. Huh. Not getting him. Here, let me kick him from the studio. Bring him back. We're crushing this.
Might have to switch to Skype or Zoom or whatever or something.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. I mean, that'll be fine. Let me invite him back.
Or we can go to new link.
Yeah, I'm going to send him a new one.
Well, thank you guys for staying with us. We'll make sure if you guys need to pop out, we'll tweet when we get it up.
For sure.